G'day guys and welcome back to Raging Ryno. Alright, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a little while now, and that's to sit down with some of the more casual fans to some of these franchises that I know I love and that I'm a hardcore fan of. Now, this particular fan that we're going to be sitting down with and having a chat with became a fan of Marvel through the MCU, essentially what we've seen over the last 10 odd years. Now, I just want to let you know that this was pre-recorded on the 10th of July. There was one episode of Loki still left when we did sit down and have this chat. And of course, this video is being released after that final episode, so just take that into consideration. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out too long because the video is going to be long enough as it is. Please enjoy a sit-down discussion with a casual Marvel fan. G'day guys, how you going? Welcome back to Raging Ryno. Alright, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about normies within these fan bases that we're constantly talking about. Now, of course, we talk a lot about Star Wars. There's obviously Star Trek, there's Doctor Who, there's the DC universe, and there's the Marvel universe. Now, this is my sister Nicole. Say hello to the people.
Hi.
Now, my sister, she's been a fan of the MCU as it's been coming out over the course of the last, 12 years now, whatever it's been. And I just wanted to get her perspective of how things are going moving forward within the MCU. What are your thoughts in regards to like Star Wars? Do you watch Star Wars, Star Trek, any of those other ones?
Star Wars I've never gotten into. Of course, we used to watch it as kids, the first...
Original three
the
movies.
Originals. But I don't think I've watched any of the Star Wars movies, the newer ones.
Okay.
It's just, I'm not a fan.
Not your thing.
Star Trek, however, I have watched all of the movies, I think.
That's because of Dad.
Oh, no, like, just the newer ones, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
all
okay.
of the newer ones.
What did you think of those?
I liked them.
Okay.
I recently rewatched the first one. I can't remember what it's called.
The one with Hemsworth in it at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we watched that the other night, and I really liked them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Star Wars and Star Trek are quite different.
Yep.
So yeah, Star Trek's more of my
thing. And you never were a Doctor Who person, were you?
No.
And what about DC? Do you know what even DC is?
Yeah, I do. But I was, in saying that, are X-Men DC?
No, X-Men are Marvel.
Okay. So which one's a DC?
Okay, so DC is like Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman.
Okay, so haven't
That
seen
universe.
any of the Wonder Womans.
Okay.
Lee's trying to get me to. Lee's my husband.
Mm-hmm.
He's in love with Gal Gadot, so he watches them all the time and wants me to watch them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I watched Green Lantern. I can't remember it though, so it probably didn't make a great impression on me. Batman, I love all the original Batmans. That was another thing we used to watch as kids. Yep. I actually haven't watched any of the... Oh, no, I have. I've watched one of them, but not... Like, I didn't watch the Heath Ledger one just because, I don't know, it's Heath Ledger and I feel weird watching it. I don't know why.
Man, he has a great performance.
I know, and I really want to watch it, and I really want to watch the new Joker movie, but Lee is more like, that's a bit too serious for Lee, so I'm just trying to find time to watch it when he's not there. Mm-hmm. But I do want to watch that.
And what about like Man of Steel? Did you watch that one, the one with Henry Cavill, or Aquaman?
No, although I do like Henry Cavill.
Most girls do.
Yeah. But no, I haven't watched it.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And bringing it full circle, Marvel. So you were never a comic book fan. You never read the comic books or anything like that.
Comics.
Archie comics, okay. But do you know the different phases that we've been through with Marvel? Did you know that it's been broken up into different phases?
No.
Okay, so phase one is essentially all those origin stories coming up to Avengers. Mm-hmm. The first Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. Essentially, nearly every Avengers movie that comes out is the next phase, the end of the phase, right. You could say. So like Age of Ultron becomes the end of the next phase. Mm-hmm. So a lot of hardcore fans and some of the casual fans have seen a change going from through those phases. A lot of people started to see that after Guardians of the Galaxy came out, all the movies after that ended up being very, very much the same in regards to their humour. They were all Guardian.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They were all Guardians of the Galaxy-ized, you could say. So you saw a bit of that?
I definitely noticed that, yeah. I mean, when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't like it because I thought it was too immature.
Yeah, okay.
But I think when we're in lockdown, we watched all of them in the sequence that you suggested, because I'd watched probably about half of them. So I thought I'm going to watch all of them in chronological sequence. And I watched that one again, obviously. I was reluctant to, but I did. And I liked it more the second time. I think just seeing it in sequence and probably seeing the humour, having watched some of the later movies and seeing the humour in those, and then going back and watching that, it was a bit more tolerable. Yeah, but I definitely noticed from that point, they do get a bit more like comical and funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So look, there was nothing really inherently wrong with those 10 years worth of movies. Was there any of the movies that you saw that you didn't like?
Yeah, I didn't like the first Captain America.
Yeah, okay.
I just found it really boring.
Yeah.
I liked Civil War. That's probably one of my favourite out of all of the Marvel movies. Is that your least favourite?
That's my least favourite.
I knew you were going
And it's so funny because like a lot of hardcore fans out there would completely disagree with that. Hardcore, they fucking hate that movie.
And this is why I'm just like completely clueless. Yeah, I've probably watched that one 3 times, and it is one of my favourites. I do have like a lot of the later Avengers movies. Like I really like Endgame and Infinity War and Age of Ultron's okay. But yeah, I did like Civil War.
How long has it been since you watched them, roughly?
They were all through lockdown, so
last year,
a year ago.
Roughly a year ago.
Yeah.
What's your favourite MCU movie, if you had to pick one?
Probably Endgame.
Okay, that's an interesting choice. I thought
Infinity War.
I thought you would have said Infinity War.
One of those two.
When Infinity War happened, I remember Nicole talking to me a lot about that, and I know that you really enjoyed that one. There's a lot of depth, obviously, to Thanos as a villain, and he actually succeeds in the end, which I think was a shock to a lot of people.
Actually, yeah, no. Now that I think back, because that's the one where they all disappear at the end, right?
Yeah, when he snaps.
Endgame's reversing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. That probably is my favourite, yeah.
See, the thing is, for a lot of people, some people do like Endgame, but I think with Endgame it can be a bit confusing in regards to the time travel aspect of it, and that's where like the loopholes start to,
Yeah, see, but I love movies that are hard to think with.
Yeah.
So that was fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I watched Inception, I watched it with her. She'd watched it about 20 times. And she explained pretty much the movie to me.
Every 5 minutes, pause.
Yeah,
he's like,
explaining it to me. Yeah, so she does like her complex movies. Okay, moving forward with the MCU, we've had some TV shows on Disney Plus. We've had WandaVision, we've had Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we've also had Loki. Which ones of those have you watched?
WandaVision and Loki.
Okay. Why didn't you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Because I'm not massive fans of those 2 characters.
Okay. Is that the only reason? Like, you didn't hear anything about it or anything that sort of turned you off?
No, a couple of my friends said they were watching it and they enjoyed it. But I still didn't. It wasn't enough for me to go, yeah, I really want to watch that.
What did you think of WandaVision?
I really liked it.
Okay. What?
I know you've got a lot of opinions about it.
Yeah. What did you like about it?
I liked that it was a bit weird. And that you're watching it and you're like the first episode, I remember thinking, what the hell is this? Like, is this just going to be like this the whole time? Because I just assumed it was based in that time period and it was all going to be like that with the canned laughter and everything. And I'm like, this is so cheesy and so not a Marvel thing. But then I think when it got to the end of that, was that when he started choking at the dinner table and then it just got a bit weird?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's my kind of show, like when it's got that element of weird to it. So when that happened, I'm like, I think I'm going to like this show. And then each episode there was that element to it that I really liked. So,
and then it obviously evolved into what it was. And how did you feel about the payoff of WandaVision? Do you feel like it paid it off reasonably well?
What do you mean by payoff?
Let me give it to you from a perspective of some of these hardcore fans that didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And what they should have done compared to what they did do. Kevin Feige, the producer and the creator and the law keeper of Marvel, came out and actually admitted that from the source material, in what happens in that story, I don't know if you know this, but Wanda's father is Magneto.
Yeah, I think you told
you that.
Yeah.
And in the real story, Doctor Strange shows up, puts Wanda in a coma so that she can't do any more damage. And then Magneto shows up, her father, and takes her away and pretty much saves her life. Right? Now, I don't know whether or not they were going to bring the Magneto aspect into it because they've only just gained the rights to the X-Men. But Kevin Feige came out and said that we changed the script to Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, the movie that they're doing, and they changed the script of the WandaVision story because they couldn't have essentially the white straight male come in and mansplain to Wanda about her powers.
Yeah.
Now, you don't see that. As a normie, you're sitting there watching it and you're just getting your entertainment out of it, which is totally cool. It's totally fine. But when the hardcore fans see it from a standpoint where they're changing the source material and they're changing the laws behind these characters and what makes these characters tick, we start to see problems with that. And then we start to say, well, no, that's not the character. And then they're like, oh, well, you're just a sexist because you can't deal with the fact that it's a strong female character and you wanted the man to come in and mansplain, so that makes you a sexist bigot, right? How do you feel about that?
Well, other than you telling me that, I didn't really know about it.
So you don't care?
So, yeah, and because, you know, I'm not that invested in it like you are, so all of those things I only hear from you. It's not like I go and do my own research or I'm following pages or YouTube channels that go over all of that.
Yep.
So I don't really feel I'm sort of entitled to have an opinion on that because I don't know enough about it. But I think the whole gender thing that we've got going on right now is retarded, for lack of a better word.
Beyond a joke.
I think it's just gotten ridiculous. I think we just need to respect each other no matter who or what we are and not have to shove it in everyone's faces about, I don't know, any more than that. You know, everyone is who they are and everyone has their own individuality, and that's as far as we need to go in terms of labels or, I don't know.
Pushing it through the entertainment.
Pushing it, like, yeah. And
see, because the other way that people see it is the entertainment that we're watching is supposed to be escapist entertainment. It's supposed to get us away from the reality of real life.
Yeah.
And when it's being then thrown in your face, what's actually happening in the real world is now being thrown in your face in your entertainment. Well, you're not getting that escapist entertainment anymore, and it removes you out of the movie or the episode or whatever it is.
And I think I said this to you last week when we were talking. The only real places I've seen it are Disney and Marvel, that it's being pushed so much on this, whereas you don't really see it. Like, yeah, you see things on, you know, the Pride movement and stuff, which I actually don't have a problem with. It seems like this has overtaken all of that and being pushed like so much more. And as you say, like the wrong media to push it on, like, you know, you can have your rights groups and all of that, and fine, they're always going to push the things, but to push it in such a mainstream way, I don't know, like I might get completely hated for saying all this, but it's just my viewpoint.
Well, don't worry, you wouldn't be the only one.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward, Loki, you've been watching Loki. We've got one episode left. What are your thoughts in regards to Loki? Moving from the beginning of the series to where we are now, what have your thoughts been of it?
Okay, so I really like Loki as a character. So that's why I decided to watch it. I basically didn't get excited about it or like wondering, oh, what's happening, or wanting the next episode until the last episode, which, not the last episode, but the last one that was aired, which is the second last episode. So up until that point, it was a bit like it would get to a Wednesday, which is the day that comes out here, and it was like, oh yeah, that's right, Loki's on tonight. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm hanging for Wednesday to come around. So the last episode we watched, and I know you, I think, felt the same. I texted you and I'm like, I actually really enjoyed that. And I think you felt the same. It was the first one that I felt like that about. Like, I think the first episode I was a bit like, okay, this could be good. But then it just sort of, I don't know, it was a bit slow and a little bit boring in some parts.
Yeah, I mentioned in my last review that there's, throughout this entire series, there's been a lot of sitting around and talking.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
Yeah.
You know, and the dialogue isn't necessarily inherently bad, but there is a drag.
It's not really conducive to what, like, to forwarding the story. Some of it, anyway, I didn't find. But yeah, definitely liked the last episode that we watched, and am finally looking forward to the next one. Like, it's the first time I felt like that. I'm like, I can't wait.
There's one episode left, and she's finally looking forward to it.
Bring on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also had a conversation about who we think is behind it all.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's Kang the Conqueror. She has no idea who Kang the Conqueror is, so her prediction is coming from a place of a Normie standpoint, and she could be right in what she thinks. So, what do you think?
Yeah. So I texted you saying I think I know who's behind it all, and his response to my text was to send me the Marvel Encyclopedia page of Kang. Is it Kang? Yeah.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror.
Not
Kang the Conqueror. So I had a look at it, and I'm like, I actually don't think it would be him, only from the point of no one will know who he is other than the die-hard fans, which could work, maybe.
Well, I will say, if you look at it, like Black Panther, and these characters were fairly, like, even Guardians of the Galaxy, they were definitely unknown characters that they brought into the
and it
spotlight.
Could open the door to another movie or to a new series or something. So it could, I mean, you know more, so I'd be more surprised if it isn't who you think and if it's who I think. But I did think at the end of the last episode that I think it could be Loki.
Okay.
That's behind it.
Yep. Like the real Loki.
The real Loki. Because you made a good point. You're like, the Loki that they're showing is like this weak guy who like falls in love and has no powers and doesn't know how powerful he is, which is complete opposite of the actual Loki. He, he thinks he's the god of everything and
he wants to rule.
Yeah. And so then I go, well, this is ruling like the whole universe. So it wouldn't surprise me that it's him. That they go into this place and they find him.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
It very well could be. There could be other characters that it could be as well, but based on some of the little Easter eggs, you could say that they've dropped in there. And, moving forward, a lot of people are thinking that it's Kang the Conqueror, but
in the last episode, when they had their little moment sitting on the rock or whatever with the blanket.
What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what I thought about that.
Talking about falling in love with yourself.
It was cute.
Oh, fucking gross.
No. So they did, I think it was in that part where they were talking about moving on together and ruling together. So they did pay like sort of reference to that fact that he does want to rule. So then like literally 5 minutes later, the cloud opens and there's this city and I'm like, that's what sort of made me think it could be him.
Yeah. And what do you think of that scene in that last episode where the older Loki forms the thing of Asgard? That was pretty fucking awesome.
That. It's funny because at the end of the previous episode where he wakes up after being pruned and they're all standing there and there's a crocodile and everything and he's in his yellow jumpsuit or whatever, Lee and I both looked at us and went, what the fuck? He looks so ridiculous. But I actually really liked him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it sort of threw me a bit. I'm like, I'm not really understanding the whole, like, several Lokis
the concept.
But I really liked him in the end. I thought he was a good character. And I thought that was good that he sort of rose up and helped them to,
I
get
thought
to
that was
point.
good too, yeah. That was probably my favourite bit of the episode, to be honest. Is there anything specifically that you've heard going forward in the MCU that you're actually excited to see? There's Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. You've got the Spider-Man, which apparently they're bringing back of the other Spider-Mans from the other movies.
Oh, that's one thing. I really like Spider-Man. Like, I think he reminds me of Jet, my son. But the last one,
which was Far From Home.
Yeah, I couldn't finish it.
You just didn't like it.
I found it so boring.
Well, they're trying to turn him into Tony Stark.
Yeah. But I
two.
couldn't. I think I got 3/4 of the way through it. I'm like, I actually can't keep watching this. So I'm not overly excited about any of the Spider-Man movies. What was the other one you said?
Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
Look, I didn't mind
First Doctor Strange.
the Doctor Strange movie. So I'd probably end up watching that. What else is there?
You've got the Eternals, which...
Yeah, no, I've watched the trailer to that and I'm like, that doesn't interest me.
Doesn't interest
at
you? All. I'm trying to think what else is in Phase 4.
I think also bringing Angelina Jolie into a Marvel movie is a mistake.
Yeah, too higher profile, or
no,
just not the right person for the role?
I mean, I could be wrong on that, but when I first saw it, I don't know. I feel like it sort of brings it down. I mean, I think she's awesome, but it's just not the right fit. And I felt like it just, I don't know, makes it a bit generic or something. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens with that, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's actually quickly go through Phase 4. I've just got a little guide here. So we've had WandaVision, we've had Falcon and Winter Soldier, we've had Loki, which we've talked about. There's a thing called What If, which is just an animated thing. It's just telling stories that what if this character didn't do this, or what if this character was a different character in that position, or whatever. Any interest in something like that?
Well, you told me that just before, and I had a look, and my first
reaction?
No, the first thing I saw on it was that the animation looks a bit like anime.
Yep.
And I'm really not into anime, so that just... I was disinterested at that point as soon as I saw that.
Anime's become massive because
my
it's
kids love it as well.
It's because it's the only thing that's not pretty much being destroyed with identity politics. They're actually telling the story.
Well, maybe this is the start of them destroying it.
Yeah, maybe. You've got Miss Marvel. Have you ever heard of Miss Marvel? Miss Marvel is a character that they've created who's supposed to be an Middle Eastern sort of character. Of course, the representation, the whole purpose of this character, and her superpower is that her hands go really big. Any interest in seeing that?
Sounds ridiculous.
Sounds ridiculous, coming from a normie. Got that, Marvel? All right.
Oh my god.
There's the Hawkeye. I think this is a series.
That actually, what's his name?
Clint, Jeremy Renner.
Yes.
I think so.
Because I love him.
Okay,
I've got
so you'll watch it
him.
just because it's him.
Yeah.
All right. We've got She-Hulk.
Oh my god.
She-Hulk is an actual character, but what they're actually doing is She-Hulk still had very feminine features. She still had the curves. She still had big boobs. She was green, but they're now trying to make her essentially she just looks like Hulk with maybe like a ponytail. She's not interested in seeing that.
No, it isn't in that.
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, look, I probably would watch that. Chris Pratt. Yeah, I couldn't stand him when I first watched the first Guardians of the Galaxy. As I said, I just found him really annoying. But I've grown to like him a little bit more since then, and I've seen him in other movies, so I don't mind him.
Okay. There's also the other Thor movie coming out. There's a new Thor movie, which...
Yeah, that's the other thing. I really didn't like the first Thor movie. That's another one that I found it really hard to watch.
Yeah, okay. I like the first one, but then Thor, they started to really mess around with Thor, especially coming into Ragnarok and stuff like that. But,
the best thing about Ragnarok is Taika Waititi.
Okay.
The
hardcore fans are going to hate you.
I can see it all over your face. You're like,
don't say that! Don't say that! Fuck! You're not my sister.
I've been disowned.
Taika Waititi came out and said, I'll destroy your mythos in a second, baby. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about it. Anyway.
Maybe that's why I like him.
Maybe. Yeah. See how much she fucking hates me?
This video is cancelled.
Yeah. Cancelled.
Yeah.
Look, that's pretty much it. So out of those last couple of things in Phase 4, now that we've sort of been able to go through it, what would you be most looking forward to out of those things?
Probably either Thor or Hawkeye.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's interesting because you said that you haven't even watched like you didn't really like the first Thor movie.
But I do like Thor.
Yeah, okay. You like
I just didn't like the movie.
Mm.
You know, like anything Chris Hemsworth does is pretty alright.
Fair enough. I think that's where we'll end it, guys. Thank you for having a chat with us. And we might do it again in the future. We'll see what happens after a couple of these movies come out. We might have another chat and see how this video gets received. But thank you, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.
See ya.
Well, there you have it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that. Now, after we finished recording, I did think of one more question to ask that I thought might be relevant, and that is, would the MCU being on Disney Plus be enough for her to subscribe to Disney Plus? Now, she's obviously got Disney Plus. She's got kids that like other Disney things, not just the Marvel and Star Wars stuff that are on there, but also her husband loves the National Geographic stuff, so there's also that on there as well. But her response to that was basically, if she didn't have Disney Plus, it probably would have been enough. She actually said the main reason why she thinks she got Disney Plus was because the MCU was on there and that's what she wanted to watch. So it would have been enough for her to subscribe to it. But look, let us know, guys, what you thought of that. I hope you really did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And like all things Marvel, wait for the end credits scene, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys. I understand you want to be in this video, but we've got work to do. We've got work to do. What do we do? I gotta record this video. And you're interrupting me like this. Can you let me work? Can you let me work? Dude, we got work to do. Oh my god. Yes. I understand. Alright, here. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Is that enough? We done? Can I record this now? How do I record a video like this? Hi guys. Charles just has to be a part of everything. Why is it that when I'm sitting down watching TV, you're not wanting any attention, but as soon as I come over to my computer, go to record or do a stream, you're here? Why? Alright. Now can I work? God damn. Clingy as fuck. Yeah, you're clingy as fuck. Are we done? We done? Back up here. Good boy. Oh. Alright. Now can I work? Ah, what do you want? Okay, you stay there.